the heart of this nation, under skies so blue,
there's a spirit that's stirring, values strong and true.
from the mountains to the prairies, from the cities to the sea, we stand for liberty, for faith and family. We're diving deep into the heart of what we believe.
Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Good to be here.
Today, we're tackling a really heavy topic. It involves allegations of child exploitation, specifically by cartel traffickers operating near the U.S. border.
It's definitely disturbing stuff. Our focus today is really to understand the claims being made, specifically through the lens of our main source.
Exactly. We're looking at an article from PJ Media, and it heavily features statements from Tom Homan.
Right, served under the Trump administration.
So for you listening, our goal here is to really dissect what's being said in this particular piece, understand the core allegations, and, the context presented there. We want to cut through some of the noise.
The article calls him Trump's tough border czar. So his perspective is definitely shaped by that experience, by that role.
Absolutely. And he wastes no time connecting the dots, at least in his view. Homan argues pretty forcefully that what he calls Democrats' open borders policies are, directly fueling a child trafficking crisis.
It's a very direct accusation. He's not just talking about border crossings, but claiming these specific policies are leading to kids being exploited.
Yeah, and he goes further. He suggests Democrats know this is happening and are basically ignoring it. He mentions motivations like cheap labor or even population transformation.
That phrase, population transformation, definitely stands out. It would be useful maybe to know precisely which policies he means by open border policies, but the article presents his claim quite broadly.
It does, and the language he uses, it's incredibly strong.
Oh, yeah. Very intense. He calls the Democrats the party of death, claims they've left a trail of tiny corpses. I mean, that's powerful, emotive language.
It really is. It shows how seriously he at least views the situation.
Yeah.
And the article then gets into a specific example he shared.
Right. This was apparently at a Republican National Lawyers Association conference.
Yes. And he brings up this figure. Says ICE is searching for over 300,000 missing children. Now, that number itself can be complex, sometimes including kids awaiting asylum claims or who've been reunited.
But Holman's framing here, in the article at least, is clearly about children lost to trafficking or exploitation.
Exactly. And he gives this recent, very disturbing example. Finding a 14-year-old girl. She was living with two adult men who had allegedly trafficked her.
And the details are awful. He stated she was pregnant.
Pregnant, yes. As a result of being forced into prostitution through that trafficking. The article quotes him directly.
Yeah, it says, "We just found one 2 days ago, a 14-year-old little girl living with two adult males who trafficked her." And then it continues, "We found her. She's pregnant from trafficking being forced into." The quote kind of trails off there in the article, which is
It leaves a lot unsaid, yeah. Homan then makes a point, seemingly anticipating criticism, saying things like, "We're taking care of her, both physically and mentally."
Trying to counter the narrative that enforcement is heartless.
Right. He says, despite what the media says, we're not heartless. We care about these kids. And then he connects it, quite emotionally, to his own experiences.
He mentions holding dying children, even dead children, during his career.
Yes. He says that personal history fuels his very strong stance, his passion on this.
And he doesn't stop there. The article mentions him talking about meeting girls, really young girls, like 9 years old.
Oh, that part was incredibly difficult to read.
Yeah. He says they were repeatedly harmed by cartel members. There's a quote in the article. It's very graphic, emotionally speaking.
I remember it. He talks about getting down on his knees to talk to a 9-year-old girl.
Everything innocent and pure is ripped from her, and she don't believe in humanity anymore because she had a bunch of animals crawling on her and taking everything pure from her. You'll never forget it.
It conveys this sense of absolute devastation and loss of faith he witnessed.
And the point he's making, according to the article, is that this isn't where.
No, he claims that is happening every day through this trafficking. That's a direct quote used. So his picture is one of a constant daily crisis.
A crisis he directly links, again, to current border policies.
And then the article contrasts this with the Trump administration's approach through Homan's eyes. He basically argues their policies, deporting criminals, going after traffickers, searching for missing kids, were working. They were saving children, in his view.
Implying the current approach isn't. It sets up a very clear before and after comparison from his perspective.
Definitely. And then the article itself, PJ Media, kind of pivots and poses questions.
Yeah, it directs them towards Democrats and what it calls the mainstream media. It asks why there isn't allegedly more focus on these trafficked kids compared to other border issues like family separations or conditions in facilities.
It even questions why some Democratic senators might say meet with deported individuals rather than, as the article puts it, teenagers harmed by cartels. It's definitely pointing fingers.
It is. Using Homan's testimony to build that case and ask those pointed questions, it's a specific rhetorical strategy within the piece itself.
So just to pull it together from this source, Tom Homan is making a very stark claim. He says current border policies, which he labels open, are directly causing a massive child trafficking problem.
Right. He uses incredibly strong language, personal anecdotes, the specific case of the 14-year-old, and stories about very young victims to support this.
And he alleges that political opponents and the media are essentially looking the other way, possibly for political gain.
And again, for this deep dive, we've really focused just on unpacking what this one article featuring Homan presents. That's the core of our exploration today.
Which brings us to a final thought, really for you, the listener. Hearing these specific, very grave allegations presented in this source, the scale of the claimed exploitation, the finger-pointing, what does it make you wonder?
Yeah, what further questions pop into your head about, say, the complexities of border security versus child welfare, or the actual impact of specific policies versus rhetoric?
Or maybe the responsibilities of different groups, politicians, agencies, the media, when dealing with such horrific possibilities. There's a lot tangled up here.
Definitely. It's a deeply concerning issue. And these claims, as presented, are quite powerful. It certainly prompts thinking about where one might look for more information, for different perspectives, to get a fuller picture.
Food for thought. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Make it make sense. Protecting rights. Protecting rights. Bathrooms and prisons. Deep Dive Podcast Show. Let's dive in. In the heart of this nation, under skies so blue, there's a spirit that's stirring, values strong and true. From the mountains to the prairies, from the cities to the sea, we stand for liberty, for faith and family. We're dying.